Hello guys, how are we? We're just setting up for the first time. I'm gonna, from now, do 8 o'clock on Friday every week. That is gonna be our new marketplace setup. And I really enjoy doing these. I really enjoy communicating with you guys. It's really, really good. So just while we set up here, just wanna make sure I'm on Facebook at the same time. And of course, I'll put on my YouTube. But we'll get up there. Oh, there's so many things to to make sure you do this correctly. But I was thinking today we would do $20,000. So again, I'm not actually buying anything, but we're going to pretend that I am buying something for 20 grand. That is our budget, and I'll see what you guys think, and maybe we can, I don't know, we can go to a different number there, but I just need to see my chat. Live. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Live control room. Fantastic. We'll mute that. All right, there we go. Hi Cooper, how are you? Marketplace baby. That's right. Let's go. HSV 20 grand. Well, I actually was offered one today for 20. I'm not sure if I will go ahead with it because I've already got, it's a bit of a project and I've already got so many. I just need to webcam. Sorry guys, going live. But it's tricky to to get all this to work. I'll spin you around a second on Facebook. So YouTube gets the raw end, unfortunately. That for now. Okay, expand video. I think that has worked. Go live. You can see. I'll spin you guys around. This is what it looks like from my end. It's actually pretty tricky to make sure that I've got everything right. Is it realistic to find a VRVS 5 litre for 10 grand? Yeah, I think so. One of my mates is actually selling a VS wagon. It is 5 litre converted, but it was a BT1, like an ex-police wagon, and I think he wanted 4.5 or something like that. So, yeah, I don't think that is too crazy at all. Okay, that's working, which is fantastic. I've got a one-owner all-original T-Bar Auto XF Falcon. Yes, I'm absolutely interested. Nightlife. I'm going to get back into doing those videos. Sorry, my cat's just going on the toilet. I am absolutely interested in going back and doing those videos. I was watching some of them today. Excuse me. And I did the Senator recently, and I really enjoyed that day. Like, it was just... it was great. The Utes done. Well, it's not completely done, the manual swap VS Ute. It's running and driving now, which is great. Drove it today. A few minor things. I need to service it, but I'll do that tomorrow morning. So that's pretty good. Hopefully we can see. But I will jump on Marketplace in a second, and I'm going to have a look at what I would buy for $20,000. That's my budget, 20 grand. Again, I'm not actually going to buy anything, but it's for the love of the game. Who doesn't love scrolling Facebook Marketplace? I certainly do. 66,000 original Ks. Wow, that's really cool. No, I haven't seen it, unfortunately. Sorry, mate. I don't. I don't really check my DMs anymore. I can probably show you, but I can't. Like, they're just... How can I show you? Oh yeah, that would be cool. I can show you guys there. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like, it's just, I just can't keep up. Yes, absolutely. That is a good buy, mate. That is a good buy. Am I checking my emails? I should do. I'll check them right this second. I usually reply to them just before bed every day. That's my little... but there's a... Anyway, we'll go into that in another video. Best way is definitely email. So my email is deacon@commodoreman.com.au. Bike hunting. That sucks. Okay, what we'll do now, I'll actually do something rather than just stand and talk. I want to go on Facebook Marketplace. So actually, a bit of behind the scenes here, we'll switch into my personal Facebook. Hopefully there's nothing too egregious. And we'll go straight to Marketplace. So maybe we'll do... I think the lower budget stuff is actually more interesting to watch, and that's kind of what I would want to watch. So let's pick a car for 20 grand and a car for 3 grand. That's what we're going to do. And we're already going to break the rules because, have a look at this, darling. Now, UCs are very unpopular. People don't seem to like them at all. Particularly that rear end is a bit interesting. I don't know how I feel about the bird on the guard there. That's quite funny. But I don't hate these cars. They're a completely different era. And if you guys have watched the channel, you know they did actually do very, very few. I'd be rusty on the details now, but they did do very few original turbocharged ones. Nick asks, do I know anyone that does reproduction VN Calais grills? I don't think so, unfortunately. They are very difficult to get. Hello, Damon. How are you? Hello, Brock. And hello, Nigel. Marketplace is dangerous. You're absolutely correct, Tim. It's very scary. I'd pretty much be completely retired, I reckon, if it wasn't for Facebook Marketplace. But, I mean, there would be... All right. But you know what, before we go into that, let's judge some Marketplace listings. I've always enjoyed doing that. So, this VN, $1,500. Let's judge it. You know what? I'm actually going to say that is not completely terrible. The seats look decent. VN Calais interior. I'm not a fan of the body kit, but I don't think that is necessarily a terrible buy. I don't know if it's auto or manual. You can't see. Auto, maybe. You know what? That's not too bad. I won't rate it. Oh, look at this. Commodore Man After Dark channel. Probably not. Oh, look at that. And this is what Facebook Marketplace is. I have absolutely zero use for this ute, but I just... See, these are good photos because that first photo was definitely its best side. You're right, it's actually not dark. It's not dark at all. Not yet. Thoughts on putting SIGs on my VE? SIGs on a VE is probably not my favourite, if I'm honest. Yeah, the Jumbuck, that's right. So Jumbuck spare tyre in the engine bay. Yep. And so you can see sort of around here, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor, but in the bottom right corner of the photo is the jack. They're actually pretty cool. good colour too. Oh no. You know what? I'm actually not going to comment on this because I think I'm not the target audience for this car. It's not for me. So I don't know whether that's good or not. Someone might love that. I saw this VH. Hello, VS Wags. That's right. This looks okay, but it has a 173 in it. Now, I don't believe that they ever came. I could be wrong there, but I don't know. It seems too cheap. I feel like that would have sold already. You're exactly right. And Commodore 7993. I didn't buy that, but a very good friend did. He's after he saw the Chimera that I've got, he's gone a bit crazy. He's got, if a Chimera has sold in the last few weeks in Victoria and even in New South Wales, he's the one that's bought them. Chris asks, Atomic VE Ute white rims. Now look, you don't have to listen to me, guys. You don't have to at all. I am just a man on the internet, but it's probably not my favourite. I'm not a big fan of white wheels on most cars, but the Ute's good. Lure head gasket of my VT Clubby. Whole new motor, classic. Okay. Gotta love Marketplace. You know what, Matthew? I know what you said, only if I had money. But the reality is eventually you'll have money and then you won't have space or you won't have time. It's very, very difficult to get all three. Average glass Barbie. Gotta love them. How nasty. The garage was unusable today. I didn't even go. Sure, Matt. So I went to Bunnings and there was a lady in a Burgundy VL Bellina, just an NA, and it was manual. And I asked her about it, and I actually was speaking to her for like 20 minutes. She was a very sweet old lady, and she was more than happy to have someone ask about her. But I didn't really push about buying it. I just wanted to hear the story about it. And right at the end, I gave her my number, but she wanted to get a little Mazda too. But I didn't want her to... and maybe some people hate me for it, but I told her, it's not worth $1,500. It's worth good money. Like, not crazy money, but it's not $1,000 car. Interesting. Needs a windscreen, 76. That's not too bad. I don't hate that. HQ is the best one though. Bonnet not even closed, yeah. That's funny, Darren. Viewer submissions. That is a great idea. You know what? Maybe not today, but I'll figure out a way how I can. Because that is a fantastic idea. You know what? I'm going to write that down. Because if I do the emails, I have to show you guys my emails, and I've done a full day of invoicing, and yeah, I can't show that off. Awesome. They were $1,000. That's right. That's the crazy part. Sure, Lachlan. I have seen the email, mate. I'll do the club permit stuff. Hopefully tonight. I did see it. Your first one went to my spam, so I'm sorry about that. Pole barn garage. I do have a separate email, like a business one, but it just... Yep. Come on, mate. Luke Sears. Luke Sears is a very, very famous man. He's got a blue... Actually, let's see if we can find it. But he is in... not in Victoria, that's right. Brisbane. Or Gold Coast, probably. So, and the only reason I'm showing this, Luke, and I hope you're okay with it, is because I've seen the ad and it is excellent. So, maybe we can find it. All right, I can't find it. Sorry, Luke. I don't want to spend too long on that. All right, we'll switch back to Geelong. God, it's hot in here. Back to Geelong, and then we're going to find a car. We'll judge. You know what? What we're going to do, I'm going to find the worst marketplace listing, the best one. I'm going to write this down. Worst, best. A car that I would buy at 5, 10, and 20 grand. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So I've got to look for the worst listing, and I don't think I'll have to go very far for that. But what we're going to do is we'll start just by Holden. Now, all right, this is not in budget, but I want to see it anyway. Sorry guys, it's a little bit hot today and good colour. You know, it's not immaculate, but it looks like an original car. Upgraded chassis, I don't know what that means. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that about your mum and dad, mate. I'm sorry to hear that. Top 5 Ford Rangers. Not a big fan of Ford Rangers, if I'm honest. So I don't know if I'm going to do that justice. Find my VNSS. Have I been affected by the bushfires? I personally haven't been affected, other than if I walk out the front door, it looks like hell on earth. The sky is all smoky and orange. All right, give me... Okay. Slapped VT. Let's have a look. The orange over blue side skirts is an interesting... I've never seen that before. And on VX Bellina wheels, car has been skidded. You know what? At least he's honest. Owned this car for 3 years. Engine mods. All right, supercharged. We'll need a respray. How much is it though? Yeah, classic. Whenever I see skid cars like that are up for swaps and no roadworthy and stuff, it just makes me think, like, do they... Yeah, okay, so it's defected. So, I don't know, the car's a bit sketch. Would I ever... Yes, I would absolutely do a right-hand drive... a left-hand drive Commodore. Most overrated Holden. 1, 2, 3, 4. It does look a bit slammed together. Well, that's true. I have no... I don't mind if it's skidded if they admit to it. You know, that's not the end of the world. I'm not buying a Holden Malibu. Okay, what do I think of this? VUU. 200,000 Ks. It's got Bellina wood trim, which is very odd on a manual. But it looks okay. I think the price is decent. Good condition. I don't know if the body, I'd say the body's in good nick, but it's okay. For a ute, that's fine. But what annoys you the most? The thing that annoys me most about the Holdens being stolen here is there's such a limited number left. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame when cars are getting pinched like that. Alright, let's have a look at this bad boy. Body looks very good. I think that's clouds, not... Oh, I love the interior. That's great. LS1. It's hard to know exactly what I'm looking at there. Clear peel on the spoiler is not a big deal at all because you could easily pull that off, but it says it's got a bit of fade on the bonnet. It seems like an honest car, but I think I'm going to keep searching. So again, we're going to find one. Yes, absolutely, Tory. Put a bloody, not for this car, but put a price on the bloody car. 100%. Right, 5, 10, and 20. All right, if this is a 5 litre, this could be our 10 grand. Yeah, no, I'm not paying that. Nice car, but fuck, 10 for a 6 is a lot of money. Oh, shout out, this is a very good friend of mine. He has a VS 5 litre wagon and he's selling it at the moment. Lots of spare bits. And it is a BT1, which is pretty cool. God, VEs are cheap, aren't they? Look, I know they might not be the best cars ever made, but you know, if you buy one of those, it says 900 or nearest offer, maybe you get it for $600, and fix it up. Then you've got a car that you know is done chains. Is this an SS for 10 grand? Surely not. It is. Damn. That's really cheap. It's got the SSV tail lights, which is cool. Wow, that might have to go. I'm going to put that in my... I know it's unregistered, but... So again, as a reminder, we're buying one for 5, 10, 20, and the worst and best listing. Why are VEs so cheap? I don't know. I know that the V6s get a bad reputation, but you know what? Outside of their alloy tech, outside of the chains, which isn't great, outside of that, they're not that bad. They're not. If you get a good one that's been serviced and stuff. The V8s though, I think that they sort of get lumped in the same thing, but they obviously don't have any of those kind of problems. Grandson wants to go electric. Prices in New South Wales are through the roof. That's interesting. Happy birthday, John Ross. Happy birthday, mate. Because they have fleas. How much was that VE? It was $10,000. Now, I will say that the bonnet is sitting funny. Something is going on, or the bar. Something is not right in that center there. But who knows? It could just be, even if it's had a very minor hit in the front, I don't know, that seems pretty reasonable to me. And VEs always have different colour bars. That is one failing. Different colour bars. I reckon this guard might have, it's hard to know, but it's still cheap. It's a V8 SS. You can daily drive it and maybe not worry about getting dings on it. Snacks. Oh, thank you, mate. You didn't have to do that, mate. Top five dream car. You know, I won't answer that right now, but I'll write it down. Top 5. So I'll answer it before I finish, because I'll end up just waffling crap for a while. Crazy. Wow. Oz Rebuilds. That is really cheap. So there you go. Maybe VEs are. They might be. Oh, here's another one. It's done a lot more Ks though. And terrible photos. That one's a much better ad. And it's done 100,000 less Ks. So let's have a look at this bad boy. You know what? I'm just looking at this car, and you know that this would be a great car. You just can tell. I know that sounds silly. It just looks fantastic. Looks like it's been garaged, elderly owner. I could be wrong, but generally, you know, if they've still got their mud flaps and they've still got all their original hubcaps, service history, yep, full service books. If I was looking for a daily, perfect. It doesn't look like it's been pigged out. You don't don't buy VF, or is this what's this one? VF for 11 grand, and it's been up for 2 months. ChatGPT. Yep. So there's nothing specific about the car. Why would you put a filter on those photos? Otherwise, good photos, but how many Ks? Oh, it's hard to believe that that's a 10 grand car, but I guess it is. Brinton asks, what do I recommend for a first car under 3 grand? Look, this one's up for 3.2. Buy this. Something like this. That is what I would buy in sedan wagon. Something with an Ecotec. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Peter. Peter, rest in peace to the cars and, more importantly, the homes and families from the bushfires. It's really terrible at the moment. It's still cooking. You can probably see I'm sweating. I can't have the aircon on because you guys won't be able to hear me yapping. It does have a lot of Ks, 333,000. But you know what? I think I'm going to call it at the moment. If I had to buy a car right now for 10, this SS, I'd at least go entertain a look. Does it look perfect? No, it doesn't. But it doesn't. It also doesn't look like total garbage. I think for 200,000 Ks, for that price, and assuming that it runs and drives okay, I think it'd be hard to turn away on that. So now we're going to find a car for 5,000. Yeah, I think that's a fair price, big fella. 2003 VY exec, 200,000 Ks, 5 grand. If it's a really good looked after one, like good paint, you know, good interior, service history, I think that's completely fine. And you know, people are always going to say, oh, you could buy one for $1,000, and that might be true, but that car's probably garbage. You know, there might be a few good ones. You know, this one's $1,000 with a blown motor, and every panel is damaged. So, no, I think that's pretty reasonable. It could be a repairable write-off, yeah. So, if I was to buy this guy, I would definitely do a check. The only problem is, Oz Rebuilds, is when you're buying Commodores, very often people that own these cars don't have car insurance. So it could have well been in an accident and fixed. Someone asked me, do I live with a woman? Yes, I do. I have lived with my girlfriend for 1 year. Falcon. Yeah, big fella 6. If that's the case, then go for it. And you know what? Who cares what other people think? If you like it, buy it. The only people that are going to talk crap about it are people that either wish they had the money or wish they could buy it too. 3.5 is VX. I do love a VX Commodore. You know, minor issues like this. Oh, sorry. If I was looking for a cheaper daily, you can obviously see there's been some minor spray paint action there and a little mark on the door. But you know what? If you're buying that as a daily, does that really matter? I don't know. I don't think so. If the rest of the car is decent, if that's the only thing, you're exactly right, Oz Rebuilds. I understand not having full comprehensive insurance. I can understand that if the car is worth very little money, but you got to have third party guys. You know, I always tell this story. There was one bloke I always used to sort of hang around with, and well, not hang around with, but he was an acquaintance. Anyway, he drove a car. He also had no license and and he was driving an unregistered car. But anyway, he drove and he caused a T-bone. So he ran a stop sign, someone T-boned him, and then his car slid into a power pole, and he had to pay for all of that out of his own pocket, right? And he's stuffed. He doesn't have any money, and he won't for years, because it'll cost him basically the price of a house to pay all that back. Over what? $10 a month? Yep, exactly. Big up Shannon's. So that's my little rant. I actually got a lot of pushback on that when I said that everyone should have insurance, and a lot of people said it's a scam. But I don't make me defend insurance companies, but you're right. He shouldn't have run a stop sign. I'm not defending him. He obviously wasn't the smartest to be doing that anyway. We need some bogan builds. There's plenty of those out there. We can have a look on Marketplace though. I'll see if there's any. It's a nice ute, but again, cardinal sin is the photos are screenshots. It's probably a nice ute though. I reckon the ute looks pretty good. But I think that price is just way too COVID era. Especially, I think he'll struggle to sell it for that. Biggest regret, I sold a VL Turbo. That's my biggest one. I sold it for pretty much nothing. $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever it was. Having those plates. See this stuff like mine it is. If this is advertised as a skidder, he's going to get a pass. Otherwise, okay, so running with big cam, manualised auto, but not running right. Project car ran out of interest. Do have a hood. one's not for me. What is going on here? What is going on here? Okay. Okay, you know what? It's a... Fair enough. It's a track car. Ecotec 5-speed. You know what? I'm not going to comment on that because that is not... That might be okay for a track car if someone wants to buy that manual. It's a completely different subject. Okay. This car's speaking to me. 10 grand. This has to be a 5 litre or an LS, surely. And fantastic. Or this might be preferential to the VESS. I like this. Sorry, VESS. Okay, so... Alright, so we've got two $10,000 cars, and as a reminder, we're doing a 5, 10, a 20, and the worst and best things I can find. So I'm going to call it. For 10 grand, this is what I would buy. I like this. It's a good colour. It's pretty much the same car as my old Calais, but in a base model. That's what I want. The VESS is still good, but I'd prefer the VT. Look at Gumtree. I can do that. I'm still going to count it. So now we're looking for a car for 20 and a car for 5. God, I haven't looked at Gumtree in a long time. I'm looking for Holden Commodore. But if it's all going to be dealers like this, we're just going to leave it straight away. It's already giving me the shits. Victoria. Yeah, Gumtree used to be fantastic. Best AU Falcon for 5. Sure, we'll have a look. VES V6 for 10.5. That is crazy. I wouldn't pay that. 10 grand for a VY V6 Auto. Let's have a look at this. This would have to have like 30,000 Ks in it, surely. Look at that. How sneaky is this, right? I'm looking at the photos. That is an ad. How shocking is that? No. Fuck Gumtree. So it's got the window switch out of a ute in it. And there's not a single engine bay photo. So that car, I know dealers are more expensive, but that's literally insane. No one can pay that, surely. I'm not even going to... you know what, that's... Gumtree can stay away from me. I don't want to look at Gumtree anymore. I'd probably get a BA. Or, no, BF XR6. Oh. Sorry, mate. Lachlan, I have seen it. I did see you have a VT with 60,000 Ks. That's very cool, mate. Sorry, I just missed the message. I do care. And there are some... which Calais, mate? I can see you saying Calais, but VE Calais. I might have skipped that guy. Yeah, Gumtree's unusable now, which is a real shame. It used to be the absolute king. No Chimera. Lachlan, feel free, if you guys have a car that you'd like me to do a video on, I've just seen your message, feel free to send me an email and we'll go from there. But I do have a bit of a backlog at the moment, but just because it's a V6 auto, I don't mind if the car is very tidy, which I'm assuming it is, if it's got 60,000 Ks. VZ Senator or an SS Ute? A VS SS Ute. Well, you'll probably have a tough time trying to find one of them. One of my mates has one though. Right, so I'm also looking for a car. Again, I'm not actually buying, I'm just having a look, for $5,000. No, I'm going to pass on that one. The BMW wheel, like, it just looks like it's been played with a little bit. Manual V6. I didn't know they did manual 6. There you go. That's cool. If you could get that for $5, that would probably interest me. I know it's an Alloy Tech, but it's also a manual dual cab. Colorado Sports Car. Look, probably not, mate. VSU. Okay, let's have a look at VSUs. What can I... I'm still looking for a car for $5,000. Again, I'm not actually buying one, but I just want to have a look at what's out there, and that's what Marketplace is for, isn't it? Just having a look. I'd probably want this to be a manual. Yep, it is. Ks are decent for... Okay. Now one of my very good friends has just sent me this. I don't know if he knows whether we're streaming or not. So, but Damien will have a look at this. Okay, guys, let's look at this together. Ford Territory Ute. What is going on here? I'm just trying to absorb this before I give a response. It can't be registered, bush property. You know what? I respect it. It's cool. It's different. It's interesting, but if you've got a bush property or something like that, then why not? Why not? And even if you didn't want to, for $2,000, I'm sure you could par that and you probably get all your money back. XY Utes. I just joined. Well, what we're trying to do is I'm trying to find the best car for 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, the worst and the best listing on Facebook Marketplace. Oh no, I think I've gotten rid of our other one before. I don't want to look at that. Well, you know what? This is going to be, I don't know if I'd say it's the best listing, but I'm going to save it because at least it's different. It's a unique car. The listing's actually good. So, I did have a car for 10 grand. I'm spewing. I'll see if I can. Oh, here it is. So that's my $10,000 car, which is a VT Executive, but it's 5 litre. That's cool. Let's have a look at Ford though. There's been a few requests to have a look at the AU Falcon. So how could we not look at that? Sultan of neglect. All right. 5 grand. I reckon that should give us a really good AU, surely. Spool diff, walk away. $5 grand's a bit of a hard number because I don't know if I'd buy a car for 5 grand. I'd probably buy something like this. This is like from a .28 or nearest offer. You know, if you got that for 2, get a roadworthy on it. This is probably what I'd drive. Something like this. Or a VY, VT in similar condition. You know what? I'm going to call it. That is going to be my... I know I said 5 grand, but that's my rules. I'm going to change it to 3 grand. Because I don't know if you're going to get that much better of a car for that money than an AU or a BA. That's 100% what I would buy. 5 grand. Look for a BA, BF, VY, VT, or an AU. Sort of just whatever is your flavour. You should be able to get a good one for that. Top 5 dream car garage is very tricky. Snacks. I'm really not too sure. You know, anyone that knows me knows that I struggle with just having... I don't think I could have 5. I'd have to really think about it. There'd definitely be a VL Turbo. There'd have to be something old, like probably a HQ with the 253 4-speed or a 308. I guess 308 if it's a dream scenario. I really don't know. It's not going to be 5 of the same Commodores if I can only have 5. Victor, how many cars do I own? I believe 19 currently. We've already secured a few this year, which you guys will see soon, hopefully. The Territory Ute is pretty cool. And you know what, I'm probably going to save it because it's not pretending to be something that it's not, and the price isn't ridiculous either. Let's have a look. I do love a BA. Oh, actually, maybe I'd get this. Base model, but manual. I don't think that that's unreasonable. There wouldn't be that many manual Falcon base model utes, I wouldn't have thought. And that's right, red ones are faster. So we'll save that way. God, we've only got one Holden. All right, we're going to try and find a car for 20. So now this is, do I want to buy a project car or do I want to buy a daily? If I'm buying a daily, I'd probably look at a VF. I wonder, what's a VF Calais worth? Wow, okay. A lot less than I thought. Can you get a... Surely that's not... Is that a V8? I really don't know, mate, about the, like, I do like supercars and all that kind of stuff, but I don't really have any experience with it. That was a manual, that BAU, which is pretty cool. VY Calais Daily, yeah, but why am I not at Summernats? That is a good question. Look, I've got nothing against Summernats and that scene. It's just not my thing. I'm just not really into burnouts and all that kind of stuff and partying, and it's just not for me. But I don't, if that's your thing, then awesome. I've got no shame on anyone. Oh yeah, this car, this is a bonus one we're going to talk about. This car I've actually reviewed, the VT GDS. So it's up for sale, which is cool. 5 litre. You know what, guys? If I was looking for a daily, 20 grand on the dollar, you know, maybe you get this for 18.8 or 19 or something like that. V8 wagon, it's a VF Calais. That's pretty good, I reckon. That's going to be my pick, I think. For 20 grand. And you know what? VFs are cool. You can still make it a bit of a project car if you wanted to be, if you wanted. Pre-89 Ford, probably an X, actually someone asked me to look it up. XYU. Let's have a look. I know this isn't an XY, but... surely that's not it. God, the market is really in the toilet. Assuming this VF is decent, man, that seems very reasonably priced. I don't know if I'm missing something here. You know, 200, yeah, right on 200,000, but VF Calais wagon, but it's an LS3. I agree, smoked 5 litre, I agree. You really want, out of a Senator or a GDS or whatever, you want the 6-speed. Can I search HSV? Sure. Problem with HSVs, guys, like a lot of people think that they're sitting on absolute gold, and very, very few I think are. And the COVID days, some of them are, but the COVID days brought the prices right up the top, and the reality is it's very, people are just not going to pay that anymore. or they can't. You know, the whole market, it's not just HSVs, the whole thing has started to go down. You certainly could, Nightlife Customs, you could definitely buy an LS for less than $5,000. A whole car. Thank you, Floyd. I appreciate the offer, mate, but I'm probably okay. VE Senator, 35. Actually, you know what? This brings up a really good point. One of my friends said, search Senator, and they're actually a lot cheaper than you think. I thought they were right up there with the GTS. Sorry, let's have a look at this. This is better being LS. No engine bay photo, asking absolute top dollar. It is V8 though, but not a great ad. Unlimited budgets. You know what? This one, look, this one's maybe a little bit of a nug, but it's very cheap for a manual SS. $9,000. I don't know, that seems free. Okay, there's a few people asking for car sales, so why not? Go on car sales. Let's search the cheapest V8 Commodore. Keeping in mind that car sales, you actually have to pay to list. And we'll do Holden. Actually, yeah, we'll do Holden. What I want to do is get rid of that garbage. Holden, you know what, we'll do manual. And I want 8 cylinders. So we have 731 manual V8s for sale in Australia. Let's have a look at what the cheapest is. Nah, car sales are not free to list, not at all. They are very expensive. Andrew, if you've messaged me, if you've been waiting over a year for me to reply, mate, maybe send me another message. Yeah, it's probably just lost by now. It's nothing personal. I get lots and lots of messages. Oh, these are more expensive than I expected, if I'm honest. They're like 30% more. Hi, Kite, Matt, how are you? These are like 30-40% more than Marketplace. Like this is like the exact ute that I bought for $7,000. You know, it's probably a tiny touch cleaner, but oh, it's manual. Okay, fair enough. It is a bit nicer, but my interior is better than that. No, it's a nice car, sure, but AC doesn't work. It's for sale, not on sale, and that's all in all caps, which means I would just walk away. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, 300,000K VSU for $18,000. Man, this tailgate's dents, has dents. Again, I'm being harsh on this car because this is absolute top spec of pricing. Yeah, manuals generally are more expensive because they're a bit more sought after by the collection. collector. 310,000 Ks. No, that's not happening. Look, it's not a bad ute, but it's not, yeah, so the bonnet's stuffed. Man, that's more like a $7,000 ute, I think. Needs a windscreen and tyres and wheel bearing and aircon. 310,000 Ks. Forgot to pay the rego for years. Again, I'm only being harsh because it is at the top of in terms of price. If this was $7,000, I wouldn't even. Good night, Silver. Thank you for joining. It's not a bad ute. I'd own that ute, but I wouldn't pay half that. Maybe I'm just out of my mind, but I don't think that's ever going to sell. For a VS ute to be almost $20,000, man, it's got to be a 10 out of 10 Botanica Mica 5-speed V8 ute. Yeah, or, you know, big motor, that kind of thing. Like, think about this, right? This ute is, right, not a good opening photo, admittedly. This ute's $500 more than that VS ute. Okay. Surely, man, just take the stuff out of the footwell for the photos. Fortunately, though, the car looks really good. Just looks like the sailplane needs paint, which isn't too bad because you can take that off and paint it. You know, it's not like a quarter. And so that front guard looks a little bit different, but who knows? Do Holden have Aussie's engine? Victor asks, do Holden have Aussie designed engines or just Chev engines? So the newer ones, which we've mostly been looking at newer ones, the V8s are all American engines, LSs, you know, same as Corvettes and all that. All the V6s are also American engines. The last one that we got, V8s that were Australian made, were in the late 90s. So 99, I don't reckon this is a 2000. This will be like a 98. And that's the last time we ever got a local manufacturing. Oh, actually, sorry, they did do the VSU a little bit longer after, but yeah, we haven't had them for a long while. I did break a sailplane, that's right, but it wasn't in a VE, it was a VU. That's right. What's a mint VS tailgate worth? Well, you can get them aftermarket, and they're pretty good. So I don't know, a couple $100. But if you use it as a ute, I wouldn't even bother. See, this is like, again, I don't mind being harsh on these cars because these are asking top dollar, 20 grand for a VUSS. Although, it does look pretty damn good. Oh, good interior. Low Ks. Should probably be an engine bay photo, but... And, you know, sometimes you do have to pay to play. If you want the car, then sometimes you just got to suck it up and pay the money. Alright guys, I'm going to sit down. I've got my I've got a standing desk, so hopefully. Oh, there we go. Sorry, you can probably see a little bit. There we go. Okay. Go back to that. I think you're right. I think they are just trying their luck, and it is a little bit cheeky. Look up Rambler Hornet. Okay. Rambler Hornet. I'll do that on. Again, actually, just before we do that, look, this car. Okay, it might not be a show car. It might not be a 10 out of 10 car. The photos are pretty average, but it's $9,000 for a manual SS. So it doesn't, I can not be as harsh on it because, man, that's pretty cheap. If it's got extractors, exhaust, yeah, it might need a bit of work, but. Oh, thank you, mate. You didn't have to do that. I really appreciate that. Is the missus supportive of the Commodore obsession? Yeah, she is definitely supportive. I don't think she understands it, but I don't think many partners do. But we're very, very lucky. It's given us a really good lifestyle, and I think that's maybe what she enjoys. Okay, so we're going to go into this. This has got to be $7,000 for a VT wagon. It's got to be a 5 litre. And if it's not, we're leaving. Okay. $17.5 for a VY V6. Surely not. Whereabouts is that, mate? I'll just see if I can find it. SV8s are cool. I do like an SV8. Mint Camry V6. Tesla. She does like a Tesla. You know what? I don't hate Tesla. I know it might be controversial, just while we wait for that bloke to reply. I don't hate Teslas. I just think that for a lot of Aussies that don't make sense, and they're kind of being pushed on you. You know, if you're lucky enough to have a few cars, a fleet almost, you know, you have lots of money, and then yeah, sure. But for the average bloke, you know, for someone that's spending 5-10 grand on a car, no. Okay, what's this guy? So we're still on the hunt for the worst listing. That VT Clubby, the VT Wagon V6, that was close. You know what? I think that's. So this is 30 grand. I actually think this is pretty reasonable, assuming that the paint panel is good. It's hard to tell in photos, but assuming that it's decent, I reckon that is pretty good. You know, because that saves. Someone can put an LS or a 308 in it at home, but they don't have to do paint panel. That's very difficult to do. So assuming that the paint panel is good, I think that's actually quite reasonable. It's got the full interior too. It's a goal of mine to buy one of these this year, but I want a standard one, not one that's been for example, okay, so an 80,000K VF with a rebuilt diff. Now, why would the diff be rebuilt? So, next car. Oh, man, some of you guys are brave with your ads and prices and all that. Thank you, Nightlife. I appreciate that. I actually do have somebody that comes with me, but I couldn't. I'd have to pay them because I ask a lot of them. You know, if that makes sense. Not like a lot. It's a lot of time. There's a lot of time and a lot of redoing things and all that kind of stuff. No, I don't think that this is terrible, especially because, yeah, the paint's a bit sad, but it's got all of its bits. That steering wheel alone would be very hard to get. And I don't think VN's had any special HSV dash VNSS interior. That's a shame that it's got the speakers in there. What's a grey VNSS actually worth? With 170,000 Ks, assuming it's not a power pack. You know, it's hard to say, man. Without looking at it, if it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10, in my mind, I'd probably think now mid-20s. Some really, really good ones might go up to 40s, and maybe this car is that. I'm not sure, but rough ones are like teens, like mid-teens now. So the market is it's not great. Thank you, Lachlan. I appreciate that. The standing desk, it's actually not that expensive. It was like $400, but I just got some legs off the internet and I bought a big slab of timber from Bunnings, screwed it all together, and happy days. Awesome, Daniel. That's very cool. I certainly would. Oh, another car that is really slept on is V8s. And if you guys have ever driven them, you know how nice they are to drive. A 6-litre WM Caprice. Very nice cars to drive, honestly. And they kind of fly under the radar. I would definitely get a V8 one because there's really not a ton of price delta. Sorry guys, just 1 second. There's not a ton of price delta, so that's what I would choose. But same with any Statesman. I don't think V6 Statesmans shouldn't really exist. Maybe the supercharged ones, but nah. How can anyone favour an SS over HSV? Now, that is a fair question. There are a couple of reasons. Look, I for the most part, I prefer the styling of the SSs. Not always, but in the most cases I do. And I think that it's because maybe they're a little bit more understated. I can admit that the interiors especially are very nice on the HSVs, on the newer ones. And obviously different engines and stuff. The other thing as well with the older HSVs is they're very, very difficult to restore, the older ones I'm talking about, because all of that HSV stuff is so one-off. Like, it's just so... You can't find it. It's all gone. I haven't looked at VLs lately. We are... Yeah, I've got it all. Internal combustion engine being phased out by 2035. Well, good luck in Australia. I can't see that's happening. I can't see that happening at all. Because the other thing that so many of these people don't realise is that most Aussies have no money. You know, you can't just say, again, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're already, or even if you're comfortable, what are you going to be forced to go spend $80,000 on a new electric? Like, it's just ridiculous. And it's just, and the other problem is all of these electric cars that they're introducing are all luxury and sports car focused, and that's great for people that have money. But, you know, most Aussies don't. Most Aussies don't. And if you want them to buy a car, you can't be asking everyone to go and spend $100,000. Like, I think what most likely will happen, and these are a great car, is, oh, not RACV, is most cars will probably become like the RAV4 hybrids, right? Toyota have really got the RAV4 hybrid situation spot on. And like, you can tell that because if you have a look at the second-hand market, which I'm looking at right now, this is 10 grand and it's 10 years old and it's done 150,000 Ks. And this one isn't even electric or hybrid, but because it's a RAV4 and all the other RAV4s are so popular, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And it's, again, I don't want to talk about the cost of living and stuff because we all know about that. And on the positive side, there is more opportunity in this country than there ever has been. And if you ignore all of the bad stuff that's in the news, you know, except to do with the economy, there is still hope. But it is hard. It's a lot harder than it was. And it's a lot harder than even I remember it being when I was 18. It's much harder. But don't give up. That's cool. Fuck, $7,000 though. Like, it's cool, but hello, Nostalgia Worldwide. Old Range Rover Sports. Yeah, I prefer the older cars too. And I always see that comment that says like, considering VTs as a modern car. And I think that they've aged really well. And same with the AUs, is they're very daily drivable, even though they're 25 years old. Where it's the same as, I don't know, daily driving a HQ when the VT came out. Like, there's a big difference. What I think about ex-cop cars, does it add value? I probably wouldn't daily one because they've obviously had a bit of a hard life, but they also have a bit of a story to tell. So if it's depends what you want the car for, I guess. Which model Storm, mate? VXSS is still hot, actually. Let's have a look. I remember when these were $3-4 grand. Sorry, 30. Oh no, it's a VL. I thought it was a VN, Kelly. That's cool. Oh, I respect that. What would I buy if I needed a four-wheel drive? Hello, Angus. How are you, mate? Good question. I'm probably not the person to ask, mate, if I'm honest. I don't really know. I don't really know. If I had $500, what would I buy? Oh, 500 is not getting you much, unfortunately. Nothing, probably. Save it. Cheap. The VSSS for 9 grand. No, I'm probably not looking for another project for a while. I've already bought 2 cars this year, so you guys will see them soon. We'll have a look at this. And both of them are actually pretty good cars. Oh, for fuck's sake. $5 grand. I guess it's not too bad. Not terrible. AU with a bolder depth. I guess, yeah, in terms of the four-wheel drive stuff, I really don't know. Maybe that would be a good idea to have on the channel. Have a four-wheel drive or something and do one up. The motor guy, absolutely. I have the Valiant in the shed. I really want to get to that soon because it has, I mean, it needs a motor, but it doesn't need any paint and panel or interior or nothing. So I think that'll be a cool thing. No, probably no parts cars, no. I have a few already, but they're not on the channel. They're just cars that I raid for screws and stuff, but they're stuffed. All right, what else do we have? An Overland. If I could find an Overlander, sure, but man, there is not many of those left. God, 3.5 grand. It's a lot of money. But it's got 6 months reg. Just had the roadworthy. I don't know how you would say that's in fair condition. I think, you know, it's got a fair bit of new stuff. I guess not too bad. It's probably $1 grand too high. That there's my red VY Calais. Let's have a look at it. Assuming this one. £10 pulley, doubles. It looks great, but what I will say is I reckon you should, and I don't want to be mean to because I appreciate you watching, but maybe just add a few more photos. Especially, I'd put the photos with the with those wheels on it. That looks much better. But good colour VY Calais. Put an engine bay photo, interior photo, that kind of thing. The actual description wasn't too bad. What else do we have? What would be my maximum distance to pick a car from? Probably WA. Yeah, and the car has to be, it would have to be worth it. No, my VN 5 litre just has the one cat. Just the one. Marketplace is heaven. You're absolutely right, mate. Yeah, I agree. I think standard photos, exactly like this, these are good photos. Just photos like this. I don't think he's going to get 10 grand for a V6 one, but the photos are really good. Nice car, but fuck, it's a lot of money. All right, Angus has sent a link in the chat. I'm using a different computer so I can't actually look at it because on my Commodore Man, Facebook page, I can't actually go on Marketplace. So I apologise for that. All right. Yeah, absolutely. I would absolutely learn a Model T. If someone was willing to do that, sure. That would be crazy. Absolutely, Lemon Lamp. So Lemon Lamp says good deals still exist on Marketplace, but you've got to be constantly on Facebook. This is 100% correct. I have gotten some really good deals last year. That Crewman was really cheap and it was really good. The Bellina was really but I have the benefit of, and this is actually quite unfair, so I have the benefit of not working a normal job, so I can come and pick it up now, and it's hard I feel terrible admitting it, but a few people have held the car because it's me, so that's a little bit unfair, but that's the game. Exactly right, Salpaca. Exactly right. So, but yeah, if you're buying a car, I'll go through a mood every few months where I'm just in a buying mood, right? And I'll buy and buy and buy. So if you're competing with me at that time, good luck, because I'm living on Marketplace and I am ready to go at any moment. But at the moment, I'm not there. So, yeah, that's right. First Investress. Hello, Artan. How are you, mate? Yep. Exactly right, Nightlife. And even if you can go and do it, you might not be on your phone. You know, you might be out with your family for lunch, and someone's like, "Nah, come now, mate. Come in the next 30 minutes." Or that's it. And I definitely missed out on deals when I had a job. Exactly. So I always have cash here, because otherwise, you know, if it's like 20 grand or whatever, and you've got to go, if you say, oh, I want to buy, I don't know, just say a really good deal comes up for 20, and you want to go buy it, and then you go to the bank and they won't take, you know, you got to order the money and all that. Like, it's, no, you have to have it on the day. I've actually never done that, but I have heard of people doing that. 6 litre 6-speed, that's cool, great colour. There's very few cars that could ask this amount of money, I think, for an SSU, but this is probably one of them, a 6-speed 6 litre in this colour. I've never had any luck, no, with the want to buy ads on Marketplace. No. Thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. Yes, you certainly should buy a VN. Do I flip my cars? No. I am not great at making money on cars in that way. I'm really not that fast. I'm just not good at that. And I don't like doing it. It's really competitive, and but I don't know. I think it's a lot harder than people think. A lot of the cheaper cars go to people that already have connections, you know, people that just want them gone. Let's have a look at this. All right, $28,000. That is a lot of money. Although, $300 kilowatts at the wheels, which is pretty good. I don't know. It's a nice car, but it's a lot of money. What car do I drive the most beside the FG? I don't know, actually. The FG is by far and away the most. You know what, guys? I think I might call it there. But I am going to do this every Friday at 8 o'clock. I want to make it consistent. It's always going to be that time, as close as I can anyway. I'm going to write it down, make sure I don't forget, and sort of do a series. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And I've seen some few cars on here. I might make a reel or something out of some of these cars. I have never driven a Series 2 GTS, no, a VT GTS with the LS, no. Situation with VL Comet, look, I think they're worth it. Look, it's so hard to say, not as a daily anymore. I think they're probably just too old. But if you really want one, if you want one as a project, then sure. Thanks, Floyd. I appreciate that, mate. I really do. I'll make it more consistent. I won't just do it out of nowhere like I did with this one. Thanks very much, Kite Met. I really appreciate that. But anyway, thank you guys for joining, following along, and I will speak to you guys soon. Hopefully you enjoyed. Put in the comments below sort of what you'd like to see next time, and I'll find something. But next Friday at 8 o'clock.